I really am grateful that Fox News decided to let Bernie have this. I don't know what they were thinking. I think they thought it would be great for ratings, and I bet it was. Did we do? I don't even know, but it really let Bernie explain who he is without a distortion. So he talked directly to Fox News viewers yesterday, and watch how effective it is. So he gets this question. This is earlier in the show, and then to the Fox News host credit, they let him answer the question as long as he wanted. And this is when I think this at this point, this was at the beginning of the show. This is maybe 10 minutes in. I think this is when Brett Baer and the other host, Martha McCallum, is that her name?
Yes.
That's when they realized this wasn't going. And I'm sure all the producers and everybody in the truck or whoever were like, this is not what we thought it was going to be.
I'm sorry, Martha. We didn't plan on them constantly applauding. Martha, get your question and dig him a hole, please. Martha, go.
Somebody has a pair of scissors to the mic cord in case this gets out of hand.
So here we go. Watch this. This is not what they wanted, and this was actually this Fox News did a big favor for Bernie right here. Watch
Sanders,
this.
welcome to the Lehigh Valley. So my question is, the definition of socialism is just a society agreeing to work together and combining their resources to make sure everyone is protected and taken care of. How can you challenge the idea that socialism is bad in the minds of the public?
Might have asked them, not me. But
is this going to be a constant thing?
No,
no,
it will not.
All right.
All right. You ask me fair questions, I will give you fair answers.
Thank you, sir.
That's the deal.
And you know, not everybody thought that I should come on this show.
And we appreciate it.
All right. Your network does not necessarily have a great deal of respect in my world, but I thought it was important for me to be here and have a serious discussion about serious issues. Sally asked a good question.
So Brett Baer says, are you going to keep doing this? He's like, no, I'm not going to do it. Oh, maybe a couple more minutes.
He's like, I get it. I took a shot at you. But there's a lot of reasons why I should. Here, let me tell you.
I'd like to justify it right now for you.
Right?
No problem, Brett.
You guys are not respected in my circles. I got to tell you.
Really, this is long overdue. Here's what's wrong.
I took a lot of heat. I took a lot of heat for coming on here. Okay, here we go. In fairness, we have no respect for any of the cable news outlets. We find that they are all equally, they all have the equal ability to distort and be maniacs given the situation.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for that question, Sally. And let's talk about it. I think it's an important issue, but it will come up. What is democratic socialism? Yeah. Fair question? Okay. So let's talk about it. Democratic socialism, to me, is creating a government and an economy and a society which works for all rather than just the top 1%. It means ending the absurd inequalities that exist today. And I want to lay this out because you're not going to hear this much on Fox, and you're not going to hear this much in the media in general. And the American people have got to conclude whether we think it is appropriate and what America is about to have three families owning more wealth than the bottom half of the American society, 160 million people. Whether it's appropriate for the top 1% to own more wealth than the bottom 92%. Whether it is right that 49% of all new income goes to the top 1%, when many people, Brett and Martha, who are watching this program, are working 2 or 3 jobs just to pay the bills. So, first of all, we want to create a government that works for all of us, and we want to create a political system which is based on one person, one vote, not billionaires buying elections as a result of this disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision.
Whoa. He is killing it. He's explaining what socialism means to him and to everybody else who likes or backs Bernie. What it actually means is we have an economy that works for everybody instead of the thing we have right now, which is a economy that only works for the 1%. And people are all behind it. And he's sitting there next to a guy who's worth $16 million, and she's worth, what, $7 million? What did you say? Something like that? So those are people with a lot of money. And he's saying that right in their face. Okay.
And he just bashed Citizens United, and they cheered.
And
this is Fox News.
Yep.
You know, Jimmy, one of our people in the chat was saying how, that they had over 2.5 million views last night in the town hall watching it, right?
Oh, yeah?
And somebody mentioned how Fox really screwed up.
They
by
did.
letting Bernie speak to this demographic.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. I mean, maybe it was good for them because they got ratings, but it wasn't good for their ideology at Fox News. It wouldn't be good for, by the way, Rachel Maddow's ideology either if Bernie Sanders got to talk for an hour on her show. It would make her look just as silly because she also is not a fan of. She also sandbagged Bernie in 2016. Here we go.
And furthermore, when I talk, and people have different views of capitalism or democratic socialism, whatever it may be, but this is my view. I believe that human beings, especially in a wealthy, democratic, civilized society like our own, are entitled to certain basic rights. So let me be very clear, and I'm sure we'll discuss it later in the show, Brett. I believe that healthcare is a human right, not a privilege. Okay?
See, I said this was the moment they realized this was not going to go. So this was early on in the show, and someone asked them to please explain why some people don't like socialism, and here he is explaining what his program is. And they're letting him, to their credit, they're letting him take all the time he wants and answer these questions. And this is not, I'm sure, what the head of Fox News had in mind. Okay, here we go.
And I believe that there is something embarrassingly wrong when the United States of America is the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people. I live 50 miles from the Canadian border.
We're going to get in detail about Medicare.
Right. So health care is right. I believe that education, whether you're poor, whether you're rich, you have the right.
And he's on to another thing that people are crazy excited about having, which is college education that doesn't make you a bankrupt for the rest of your life.
And he just kept going.
He just kept going.
He was like, I got a specific thing about it. Just like, all right, that's great. In education, it's like, yes.
He just keeps going. This is Bernie at his best.
This is Bernie at his best because he's not conceding to the people who are hosting the debate. He has a message, and he's willing to push that message,
right?
Which was really exhilarating to watch that town hall.
This was exhilarating. This is the bold Bernie I loved. This is the Bernie that got me excited in 2015 and 16.
I'm going on Fox News. I am going to give 0 fucks. Do it.
You got all of the education you need. And that is why I believe we should make public colleges and universities tuition free.
We're going to talk about all of this.
Good.
And we're going to try to talk about.
So that's Brett Baer trying to get in before this plug. He knows, oh, goddamn it, he's getting applause after everything he says on our goddamn network. And so now that's that technique of, I'll start talking before they applaud, and then they won't, which they won't. So there you go.
How you pay for it, which is a real question.
Absolutely.
But I just want to back on the taxes briefly. When you wrote the book and you made the money.
Yeah.
So now this is, another. So these are a couple of 16 millionaires, 7 millionaire, 8 millionaire. So these people are super wealthy. I wonder if he's wearing French cufflinks. Anyway, here he's sitting there, and he's got the pocket square, though. That's nice. That's a newsman look. And so they're trying to screw Bernie on the fact that Bernie wrote a book, and that book was successful, so he made $1 million one year off of a book he wrote. And he's 80 years old, 79 years old. I guess you're not allowed. Anyway, here we go. So watch how they try to screw him. And Bernie, I think, handles this question better. I thought he was going to drop it. I thought he was going to flub this question, and he nails it, I think. Let's watch.
No question.
Absolutely.
But I just want to back on the taxes briefly. When you wrote the book and you made the money.
Yeah.
Isn't that the definition of capitalism, the American dream?
No. I mean, what we want is a country where everybody has opportunity. I have a college degree. Okay, I'm a United States Senator. But a lot of people don't have a college degree. A lot of people are not United States Senators. I want everybody in this country to be able to have health care, to have education, to when they turn on the water, have drinkable water, not toxic water.
So what he's saying is, no, Brett, the American dream isn't a bunch of a handful of winners and a bunch of losers. That's not the American dream. And he's saying that the richest country in the world can provide stability and a great life for everybody in the country, not just some winners and a bunch of losers. That's not the American dream. And that's because right now we know that the old American dream was you work really, really hard and you'll be successful. Well, the people who are working the hardest are the least rich. People working 2 and 3 jobs is commonplace in the United States now, and those people aren't rich, and they ain't never getting rich. So that's what he's saying. No, the American dream should be that we don't have a handful of winners and a bunch of losers, but we have everybody's a winner in the United States. That's what he's saying. Anything? Okay, here we go.
So what we are fighting for, Brett, is a society not where just a few people can make a whole lot of money, but a society where everybody in this country has the opportunity to live in security and dignity.
All right. So
he nailed that question. Nailed that question. I was that's a great way to because that's a capitalist bullshit. Like, isn't that the American dream? Everybody you work hard, you become a millionaire. Yeah. That's that. You know what George Carlin said? Yeah, that's called the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it. There is no work hard, get ahead. It's all crony capitalism in the United States and bullshit like that. So should I go to the next clip, or do you guys have anything?
I just want to say, G. Coolgian says, "Shit, Bernie's winning me back." And did you have that kind of experience?
Yeah.
yesterday?
I remembered why. So this was like, this reminds me of, like, you know, every Democrat should be like this. And then there should be people to his left that are calling for co-ops and worker co-ops and actual socialism. Like, the fact that he's the furthest left saying this should be the center of American politics, because it's the center of politics everywhere in Europe. Everybody already is for all this stuff he's talking about. Health care for everyone, college that doesn't leave you bankrupt, and, hey, clean water and a livable wage. Everybody's for this stuff. He's not a lefty in Europe. He's only a lefty in capitalist nightmare United States. And again, I have to tell. So what his question was really, his answer was what I like to. What I say about that is, what do you call a system that takes the richest country the face of the earth has ever seen, the United States, and renders 80% of its population living paycheck to paycheck? You call that a failed system. That's what he's saying. We need to change this system. Next live Jimmy Dore show is June 5th. That's a Wednesday at Hermosa Beach Comedy Club in Hermosa Beach, California. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all tickets. We might be coming to your town. And if you love the show, please become a patron. Please support the show. We give you hours of bonus material every week. And please click that bell and make sure you're subscribed. Even if you think you are already subscribed, they unsubscribe people every day. Just check. Thanks for your support.